some important reforms which have been made in National Education Policy 2020. I am going to rush you through these slides, and I would be focusing on reforms made in school and higher education system. Second, teacher training and recruitment, and then reforms made in curriculum design. As you know that the previous academic structure was 10+2 system. We have gone through this. 10+2 system meant that from age 6 to 16, a student was expected to graduate from class 1 to 10th, and then 2 years, 16 to 18 years of age for 11th and 12th. Now that system has been dropped and it has been changed to 5+3+3+4 system of schooling. What is this 5+3+3+4? It has been, you can see that it has been divided into 4 stages. First stage is foundational stage, second preparatory, then middle school, then high school. What is foundational stage? It's a duration of 5 years. It includes 3 years of pre-primary and grade 1 and grade 2. Then in this stage, children will be from age 3 to 8 years. Then we have preparatory stage. It's a duration of 3 years. It includes class 3, 4, and 5. And by the age of 11 years, a student is expected to come out of class 5 and enter into class 6. So from age group 11 to 14 years, we have class 6, class 7th, and class 8th. It's a duration of 3 years, middle school stage. At middle school stage, computer coding will be introduced. From class 6th onwards, computer coding will be taught to our young children, our young kids, so that they are more well versed with the technology. Then we have high school stage. It's a duration of 4 years and it includes class 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And the age group expected is 14 to 18 years. So by the time the child becomes 18, it is expected that he or she passes class 12th. Then we had seen that not only changes were made in school system, education system, but curriculum and pedagogy in schools was also expected to evolve, and learning is to become holistic, integrated, inclusive, enjoyable, and engaging. The methods to be adopted by teachers are to be so that learning becomes enjoyable. A class of mathematics should not be boring. It should not be a punishment. It should be engaging. There should be two-way interaction. It should not be that the teacher is the only one who is conversing in the class, but students should also interact when we engage the class. As you know, when we teach in the class, in the classroom, I always try to engage the students by giving them examples or by asking them to make their comments. When they are engaged, when they are involved, only then they will remember what they have been taught. For example, I can say that supposing you come out of your examination and you realize that one question is there about which you have a doubt, and then you go to your book and open it and find out the answer, and that answer and that problem will stick with you. So classes should be inclusive, enjoyable, engaging, and learning should be holistic. This is what we had been talking earlier too, that it should not be that a student who is reading physics cannot read philosophy. Holistic learning means that we know about philosophy also, about flute playing. Supposing you like to play flute, supposing you like both history and painting. So you should be given that opportunity. Students should be given that opportunity, and it will lead to holistic development of his personality. Then we come to higher education. In higher education, there are three kinds of universities introduced. There is research intensive university, then teaching intensive university, and then of course autonomous degree granting college. So far, colleges like us are affiliated to some university, and the degree is granted by that university. But now by 2030, it is expected that colleges would become autonomous, degree granting, and multidisciplinary. Again, if we go further, then some other systemic changes have been made at higher education level, like multiple entry and exit options have been given. I believe you all know about that. In graduation, after completing 1 year of your study, if you exit the system, then you will be given a certificate. And if you leave after 2 years, then diploma. And if you study for 3 years, then bachelor's degree will be given. This is the present system which we follow currently. There is one more provision, and much emphasis is being laid on this, that multidisciplinary bachelor's degree, and this is given after completing 4 years. In the last year, it is expected that the student concentrates on research. Then, of course, you all know about academic bank of credits. A student can go from one university, from one college to another college, and he or she can deposit his academic scores in the bank and use it as it is required. Then it comes to master's program. A student who has completed his or her 3 years bachelor's degree, for that student, master's degree will be for 2 years. For those who have completed 4 years of bachelor's degree, master's degree would be for 1 year. Then there is proposed 5-year integrated bachelor's or master's program also. You all must be knowing that MPhil has been discontinued, and then PhD, it is proposed that 4 years should be allotted to PhD. We all know that nowadays PhD just goes on, and much extension has to be given, like in BHU. After 5 years, students seek extension. Then many a times they are not able to complete their PhD within the given time, and seats go wasted also. Then focus on reduction of curriculum content in each subject. Instead of teaching too many things, learning should be based on critical thinking. Learning should be inquiry-based, discussion-based, discovery-based, and analysis-based. It is very important because so far our education system has been focusing on what it is called rote learning, or ratta marna jisko kehte hain. So you just learn something, memorize it, and when you go to appear in your exam, you just put out everything out which you have memorized. वो जाकर बस केवल वहां पर जो याद किया है उसको लिख दिया. और बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि the answers are the same. Students write from one book or two books, answers are exactly the same. Especially during this period of open book examination, it has been a problem for us that we find that answers are exactly the same. And it becomes difficult for us to give them marks. And when you give them less marks, then they will come to you, complain to you, because we have this system of students can see their copies, and they can ask as to why they have been given low marks. But it requires critical thinking on your part, on the part of the students, so that they not only get good marks, but they also gain knowledge. If they develop this trait of critical thinking, then you can understand how much it can help you. Because even in your life, there are many a times there are uh, like points where critical thinking is required, where decision making is required, where problem solving is required, and then it will help you. So inquiry based, like somebody was telling us yesterday, उनका एक छोटा बेटा है, and उसको सिर में शिखा होती है, जो ब्राह्मण है, उपाध्याय हैं, वो रखते हैं. तो द चाइल्ड आस्क्ड हिज फादर कि मेरा चोटी जो है उसको काट दो. उन्होंने कहा कि हम तो, आई एम नॉट अ बार्बर, व्हाई वुड आई कट इट. और उन्होंने कैची उसको दे दी. उन्होंने कहा कि तुम काट लो. तो उसने कहा व्हाई शुड आई हैव दिस शिखा, बिकॉज व्हेन आई गो टू स्कूल people make, other students make fun of me. So if you are doing something, you should not do because you are expected to do it because others are doing it. It should be inquiry based, why you should do it. So you should know what, why, how of all your questions. And NEP focuses on this, that learning should be discussion based, discovery based, analysis based. Only then we can make we can have good citizens. Then in NEP, focus has been laid on experiential learning. We should go into the field. We should make our education arts integrated, sports integrated, and very important thing which I like very much in NEP, it is storytelling based education. Storytelling is an age-old tradition in India, and we are forgetting about it. In our country, all our scriptures have been passed on to us through this art only, and we should revive this art of storytelling. Then multidisciplinary education, flexibility in subjects, broader choice of subjects, and this will improve critical thinking and creative thinking. We have just talked about it. No stream system, a student can opt for any stream. Like when I was in class 9th, I was expected to choose either arts or science side, and in under arts stream, maths was not taught, and you had to study home science. So this restricted my choice. Although I wanted to read mathematics, but I was not able to do that. So now, no stream system is prescribed, and a student can opt for any subject of any stream. During foundational stage, learning should be in mother tongue. Till class 5th, mother tongue should be used to impart knowledge. There should be no language barrier, because you know that in our country there are so many languages spoken, and as you can see, this data says that out of 100 tribal children, only 20 reach high school, and the reason is language. If there is no language barrier, then of course enrollment will increase, and gross enrollment ratio will increase. And this is also one of the objectives of NEP. Sanskrit will be introduced at all levels of school and higher education. And vocational education, of course, this is one more very lucrative aspect of NEP 2020, that focuses on vocational education. And you must be knowing that Ministry of Skill Development is there, and it has introduced several courses. Even in our college, we have introduced one skill based course in stitching, and it is all financed by the ministry. Students do not have to pay anything, they just have to attend the classes regularly. But I must tell you that this is also a problem because 70% attendance is the requirement. Biometric attendance is there, but because the course is free, students do not realize that they should take part in it and they should take it seriously. I believe that there should have been some fees so that students feel the onus of running this course. Then digitalization in education. This is something on which much focus, much emphasis has been laid. Taking digital to rural areas and digitalization will make course content available in regional languages also. For differently abled also, it will help. During the Corona period, we realized that how important it is to digitalize education, and many institutions are doing it. Then use of technology, you better know about it, that there are so many platforms where teaching, learning, and assessment, we have been using technology on all these platforms for teaching, learning, and assessment. Then Lok Vidya. As I had earlier said, that NEP focuses on Indian knowledge system. So Lok Vidya, promoting Indian arts and culture, this is one of the major thrust in NEP 2020. Basic training in health. This is one more feather in the cap of NEP 2020 because Corona has taught us that at least some basic training in health should be imparted. It should be made part of the curriculum, and it includes mental health, which is very important. We do not realize it, but mental health, if a nation is happy, only then it can progress. Then, of course, nutrition, personal and public hygiene, first aid, and preventive health. Students should also be educated about it. Now we come to the part where we must know as to what are the fundamental principles that will guide both the education system at large as well as the individual institutions within it. Because these fundamental principles are going to define the role that various stakeholders have to make, whether it is teachers or students or parents or the government. You can see the three words written here, CDP. CDP is not Child Development Program. CDP means critical thinking, decision making, and problem solving. So these are the key words. In fact, earlier also we saw that basic aim of NEP is to inculcate critical thinking among students so that they can take decisions and solve problems. Then another fundamental principle is recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities of each student. Each student has some capability, has some unique capability, and the teacher in the class must recognize and identify it. Then according the highest priority to achieving foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3, कक्षा 3 तक आते आते बच्चों को जो बेसिक नॉलेज है अल्फाबेट्स की और नंबर्स की वो उनको आ जानी चाहिए. आपको मालूम है कि ऐसा बहुत बार देखा गया है कि स्टूडेंट्स who are studying in class 8th even, they do not know how to write, how to speak. So उसको चेंज करने के लिए इसको भी एक फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल बनाया गया है. देन फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी जिसके बारे में we had earlier also talked that the student should have this flexibility of opting for various subjects from various streams. No hard separation between arts and science should be there. Otherwise, like students like me who wanted to study mathematics and were not able to do that. Then multidisciplinary and holistic education. Emphasis on conceptual understanding. Instead of memorizing subjects, conceptual understanding should be brought. And how it can be brought? By changing the method of teaching, by changing pedagogy, by involving the students in classrooms, by taking them to field from classrooms. Only then a student will be able to understand more, and there will be more conceptual clarity. Then creativity and critical thinking. We find nowadays that creativity is at very low. Even in research, we find that it is only presenting what has earlier been said. No new research is being done in India. So creativity and critical thinking, ethics and human and constitutional values, it is very important, and much focus has been put in on that. Article 51 of our constitution, which talks of fundamental duties. Teachers are expected to know about these constitutional values, these duties, fundamental duties, and they should not only know, but they should also demonstrate and try to impart it to the students. Then promoting multilingualism and the power of language. You know that the more languages you know, the more empowered you are. And for old age, it is said that when you are getting older, you should be learning language, a new language. It will keep you more alert, mentally alert, and keep you away from diseases like dementia and Alzheimer. Then teaching life skills. What are the life skills? Today, communication is a very important skill. Like I am sitting before you, being a teacher, I should be having that communication skill. So communication skill, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. And I believe that the students of management know more about it, about teamwork. आखिर आप मैनेजर्स बनने जा रहे हो, तो आपको तो कम्युनिकेशन स्किल बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है, कोऑपरेशन, टीम वर्क एंड रेजिलियंस. If you are not resilient, then you will not be successful. So these 4 life skills are very important, and teachers should be able to impart it to the students from the very school level. Then only these 4 skills will become part of them. Then regular formative assessment instead of summative assessment. Regular assessment will help us improve ourselves. I believe you know about the Japanese term kaizen, which means that you should always try to improve yourself, make yourself better. So that should be the keyword. Then extensive use of technology. As we have seen that today technology is the keyword. Without knowing about technology, about its usage, we can't work. Like today I'm sitting before you with 2 laptops, although with some help. Dr. Sahab had asked me whether, madam, let us have some practice. I said that no, I will try, because I should learn about it. Then respect for diversity and local context. Nowadays, you see that much focus is put on ODOP. If it had been an open class, I would have had asked you as to what is ODOP. One district, one product. So local context is extremely important, and we should honor the diversity that we have in our country. Then full equity and inclusion. Of course, it is the basic feature of NEP 2020. Synergy in curriculum across all levels of education. Teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning process. We will be discussing in the next part this heart, teachers and faculty. Light but tight regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency and resource efficiency. आपको मालूम है कि कई बार स्कूलों का जब इंस्पेक्शन होता है तो टीचर जी प्रेजेंट नहीं होती हैं, होते हैं या होती है, तो इसको टाइटन करने की जरूरत है कि प्राइमरी एजुकेशन को भी सीरियसली लिया जाए और वहां पर एफिशिएंसी 100% हो. Then encouraging innovation through autonomy, good governance, and empowerment. Outstanding research. Outstanding research uh, should be encouraged, should be promoted. Then another fundamental principle, which is very important, is continuous review. Kaizen. We should continuously review ourselves as teachers and improve ourselves. Then rootedness and pride in India. Our present government puts much focus in that. Make in India or India First policy. All these have been adopted by the present government. Then education as a public service. Education is a service. So these are the fundamental principles. These fundamental principles are necessary because they determine as to what role teachers would be playing.